It's been over 3 decades since the original Jurassic Park changed movie making forever and answered the prayers of countless dino nerds across the planet. But nothing in the franchise has ever matched that first film, so how does this brand new entry stack up? Let's talk about it. Jurassic World Rebirth is the 7th movie in this franchise, and it takes place 5 years after the previous film, when a covert operations expert is tasked with leading a team on a top secret mission to secure genetic material from the world's 3 most massive dinosaurs. Now, I have to be honest here for a second. I seriously cannot quit these movies for some reason. Because if Jurassic World Dominion didn't make me do it, then clearly nothing will at this point. You know, maybe it has something to do with the fact that I was that kid in elementary school that pretended to be a dinosaur during recess, but it's mostly because the original Jurassic Park is a certified masterpiece that still holds up to this day. The Jurassic World part of the franchise has been a bumpy road by comparison, with the majority of that trilogy representing the worst of the worst, but if you tell me they're gonna take another crack at it with Scarlett Johansson at the forefront and Gareth Edwards behind the camera, you better believe I'm ready to be hyped up and hurt all over again. So when I sat down to watch this film, all I was really hoping for was some competent dinosaur mayhem, and even though it's rough around the edges, Jurassic World Rebirth did kind of give me that. When it comes to the story they decided to go with here, I really believe that the overall concept they cooked up is pretty solid and is an easy sell to get someone back on board with this franchise. I mean, it's basically an extraction mission on the island of misfit toys, but with gargantuan-sized dinosaurs. My ass is already in the theater after hearing a pitch like that. But the way it's all executed isn't exactly what I had hoped it would end up being. It definitely takes a little bit to get going and set the stakes properly, which I really don't have a problem with, but once we're up and running, they go ahead and throw a massive curveball our way by introducing this brutal civilian family into the mix. It's frustrating because what was shaping up to be a lean and mean dinosaur thriller is kind of derailed a little bit by this group of characters that don't really match the vibe or the tone of what was previously set up. All of that aside though, I'm a fan of the general mission structure the movie follows, and it gives us a plausible reason to return to this world, but I would have rather it focused on just the mercenaries by themselves. Call me old-fashioned, but I want to hear about dinosaur DNA mumbo-jumbo in these movies, not a father and daughter arguing over her stupid boyfriend. Diving into the performances here, on paper this movie has a pretty impressive cast list, right? Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Mahershala Ali. Those are some heavy hitters that have dished out really good work in the past, especially in CGI-filled blockbusters. And all of them are perfectly serviceable in this movie. No one's really making an effort to dish out their best work, but I think Jonathan Bailey is the clear standout here. He was the character consistently bringing the emotion and wonder when it came to being in the presence of these prehistoric beasts, and filling that expert guide type of role in the mission. He's tasked with offering up a lot of exposition and knowledge, but it was done in a way that all felt pretty natural. On the flip side though, the family characters we're stuck with consistently annoyed the hell out of me. But I'll be generous here and chalk that up as the script not giving them anything all that good to do in the first place. Now it's time to talk about all of the dino action in here, because that's really what's getting you to buy a ticket first and foremost, and all of those moments are definitely the highlight of the film, because the dinosaurs all look really good and are perfectly integrated into the world around them. I know that kind of sounds like the bare minimum for these kinds of movies, but that's not always the case with some big budget franchises if we're being honest. When it comes to movies directed by Gareth Edwards though, I'm someone that thinks that they always look beautiful and have top tier visual effects from beginning to end, but they're somehow kind of hollow at the same time, and it's less apparent here, but there's still shades of that in Jurassic World Rebirth. The guy's no stranger when it comes to having huge CGI monsters fighting on screen after he directed 2014's Godzilla movie, and he definitely applied everything he learned in that project to this film. Everything looks and sounds great, but the only problem is that I wasn't really feeling the intensity as much this time around. Don't get me wrong, I love that they're finally bringing back how scary these creatures can be, because that's something that was really effective in the first and third entries of the franchise, but there wasn't anything in here that was making the old heart rate jump too high or anything like that. It was all entertaining for sure, but I don't know if there are any sequences in here that are going to end up being all that memorable when you look at the series as a whole. Overall, guys, Jurassic World Rebirth is a solid enough entry in this franchise. It's not the return to form I was hoping for or anything like that, but it definitely feels a lot closer to what that looks like than the previous couple of movies. The script's not great, and the story sometimes can't get out of its own way, but the actual dinosaur parts are where they need to be visually and provide some straightforward entertainment. I was definitely expecting better when you look at the team behind this one, but it feels like we're at least taking a step in the right direction here. Jurassic Park Rebirth gets a Sully score of 3 stars. So that's my review of the latest Jurassic film. What's the best movie in the franchise outside of the first one? Might be a hot take. I'm going with Jurassic Park 3. already, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.